Now, that original settlement block was up on the hill behind me. That area is now abandoned and the settlement has moved closer to the St. Margaret's Bay Road. So we're trying to find traces of the original up there. We're using a series of old maps, modern technology like LiDAR, and good old-fashioned bushwhacking.
Welcome. My name is Ben Sheffer. I'm an archaeology student and part-time filmmaker attending St. Mary's University. And today, I'm going to take you along with me to see the process of an archaeological survey at Beechville. Before that though, here's a little bit of the historical context of the site. Beechville is a historic Black community settled in 1815 by Black refugees who self-emancipated during the War of 1812. They fought for their freedom around the Chesapeake Bay area in modern-day Delaware before fleeing with the British up to Nova Scotia, settling in Hammond's Plains, Preston, and Beechville. Our group's research began in the lab, where the class is currently speaking with Robert Shears and Dr. Fowler. Shears is a CRM group archaeologist and was the first to survey the site in 2014.
They self-emancipated. In other words, they freed themselves. They swam or boated out to the Royal Navy that was blockading the American ports. They were given arms. They went back. They freed their friends, their neighbors, their family members. At great personal risk, you can imagine what would happen had they been captured under arms after escaping such conditions.
Prior to our field survey, the team has some skills training to complete. This includes practice with a Leica GNSS, Trimble Toto Station, and DJI Mini 3, used to effectively record our findings while in the field. Another important step before we head to the site is a dive into the archives. So on day 2, our team gathered in search of maps, land petitions, and any other documents pertaining to the settlement. This work can help provide previously unknown documents to community members and help us understand why certain features are built the way they are or where they are. With all of our new information, the team gathered in the lab for a final day of safety prepping before we hit the field. We gathered in Monroe Park the next morning with a few Beechville residents eager to learn about the site's connection to their heritage and set about the forest, excited to get our eyes on these features.
That's what we always call the back token. Yeah. I don't like, you know,
it's just what you heard the kids say, the generation before you say, so.
I'm sure that there's somebody that would know probably where the name came from.
Place names are so
important. Yeah, and important, right?
Upon navigating into the site, the group branched off the main trail in search of 3 features previously identified by Robert Shear in 2014.
All right, let's go. This is going to be a little bit interesting. I didn't have waterproof boots on. It'll be pretty good.
The first among them was a tall linear wall called Feature 1.
Stonewall 01, Stonewall 02, approximately 20 meters long, east-west. What else can we say about this feature?
It was slightly dilapidated in the middle.
Classic word, by the way. So, dilapidated. Lapis, Latin, stone.
The next feature we found was located roughly 100 meters away just down the hill. It was a cellar depression, mostly filled in by chimney debris and covered by undergrowth, but still evident among the surrounding landscape as man-made.
The chimney's going to have a stone firebox, and some of it might be rocked up. And when all that collapses, it just turns into a mound, right? And that is the root cellar. So if we were to get serious about it, the northing is 494.
Once the features were recorded, our team reconvened in Monroe Park to debrief and plan for the day ahead, discussing the best method for tackling the remaining area.
It's just so dense, the forest is so dense, and it's very difficult to get complete coverage.
We returned the next morning, eager to begin bushwhacking, and after a quick brief from Dr. Fowler about our plan, 3 teams split up in pursuit of 3 previously unidentified sites. This included 3 cellar depressions and a handful of walls located in their proximity. We called these Check 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Objectives for today, for field notes. We are going to go in the main path, and then where the path breaks, there's that intersection. We're going to camp around there for a bit. There are 3 possible additional house sites in that neighborhood based on the new LiDAR that we did. Maybe yes, maybe no, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a good look there. Bushwhack. Find out. There are also at least 2 significant stone structures, like long linear stone structures. And I dare say, yesterday, just as we were leaving, I caught a glimpse of one in the woods. And I wrapped a piece of tape around a tree. So we'll go and take reads down to 6, a vertical stone pile. Check 2, the center of that cellar. So the last stone wall we took was 6, all right? So now we're going to start, and it wasn't 6, because we had 7 there. See? So now we're going to go stone wall 8, stone wall 9, we'll get the other one of it too.
Once identified, the teams went about clearing the loose debris from around the features, providing us with our first clear look at the shape of these depressions. With the shape of these features sketched, we're getting a better picture of how the settlement looked in the 19th century, learning its story as our work progresses.
We've identified 3 new sites. I'll say it now, and then I'll say it again. I keep saying it probably because it's science. Robert spent days bushwhacking. We spent half the morning with LiDAR. Science. Okay? Doesn't mean that we're done. There's a lot of things we're not going to see in the LiDAR, given the vegetation. So I'm just happy that we've got 3. We've just doubled in the amount of time we spent on this site. We've just doubled the inventory of likely house sites. But we've also seen a lot more, right? We've seen a lot of stone features that some are in the LiDAR, some are not. The smaller stone piles are not.
We want to learn more about the history of that lost settlement. We want to gather evidence. We want to interpret it to some degree, but we also want to give that evidence and those interpretations to community members so that they can marry it to their knowledge, because they've got that cultural memory that's been here for 200 years plus. So when they put all of that together, it will make something else. That's one of the cool things about research. It's true of art, I think, in general too. You create something and you push it out into the world, and then it kind of takes on a life of its own. So we're eager to learn and interpret, but also then to give it to people to take it to that next place.
Let's confirm the coordinates on this point. What's the northing you've got?
Want my last 3 digits? That's 4.
Our last day in the field was especially productive, with our group mapping as many as 5 new features. Now quite proficient in identifying these remnants, the class continued to record the placement, orientation, and size in our field notes for future analysis.
Okay gang, so this is roughly where point 4 actually is, and it kind of connects to that. So the story after all that bushwhacking and confusion is that if you go back in time about 100 years, that trail doesn't seem to exist. But people walked through here and they went this way. So this is actually the older trail. The question is, how old is it? Nobody knows. Doesn't match the 1818 map. We don't have anything else large scale until much more recently. So, okay, next point. Let's work our way up that hill in the brush. So it's going to be another push. And I'm not even sure there's a target there. There's a map that shows a house up there, but we're not seeing it in the LiDAR. But of course, it's also an area that's so densely overgrown, you're not going to see it because you're not going to get that penetration.
This must be cool. Hey, Trevor. Yep. Are we all there back there?
Yep.
Yep, we're all there. Yeah, a bit. Just to make a little camp area.
There's lots of stone walls. This one probably is the tallest one, the best preserved that we've seen. It's fairly short. Most of the other ones we've seen, and hopefully we'll see more on the way out today, they're much lower, but they're much longer. They go for ages. This one is sort of compact and still standing tall. There's really no, I don't know, there's really no understanding as to its function. There might be a roadway coming along here, but it's not very evident. It doesn't appear to be an enclosure, it's only a segment of a wall. It goes over there and it stops. What was it for? Who put it here when? Who knows?
Mind you, we see it in the LiDAR anyway.
We're measuring this stone wall feature here. It's approximately like 18 meters long with a dilapidated portion in the middle. So we're just getting all the measurements so we can map it out better and reference it on the LiDAR.
While in the field that day, I had the pleasure of speaking with Bev, a Beechville resident who is able to provide context about life in the community today. Her contribution is essential to the human and heritage knowledge that our group of students may struggle to offer up in our review.
Right out the door. And back then we never had telephones, so our mother, when she used to call us, she used to yell, and you could hear her yell, because we used to live on top of the hill, and she would yell. So when she yelled, you knew to go home. Yes, well, we come from the Hamilton side.
Okay.
But growing up, it was fun. There was 11 of us in our family, so pretty much
Lots of kids to play with.
lots of kids, lots of cousins. Everybody knew everybody.
It sounds like it was a really tight community.
It was.
It
really was.
Was the church a big part of it? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
The church was a very big part of the community. Always has been. Probably always will be. God willing. And yes, we used to have the Beechville Center.
After talking with Bev, the group visited another handful of coordinates before returning to Monroe Park, excited to return to the lab and begin mapping the settlement.
Map, I forget what they called the map, but you know the map, like the big map of Nova Scotia. The 1857, St. Margaret's Bay Road was already established.
Right.
I think it was somewhere around, around the 30s when it was established. Yeah. And we don't, like, from what I've seen, like, reasonably, I don't know what you could attribute to, like, the 1827 petition, right? Improving the road. Doesn't mean improvement there, doesn't mean creation of Old St. Margaret's Bay Road.
Yeah. Hard to know, eh? There's one piece of homework I haven't done for you guys, but I do know that the British military, the Rangers, were walking. How are they going to know? Okay. But you saw some of that brush today, like when we first came in, before we hit that really nice path. How can you see anything back there? Like even if you pressed into it, you almost can't see the ground for the vegetation. So humility, right?
You can see where we've been. So let's do a fine.
Preparing the prism poles. Right.
The final days of our course concluded with an attempt to definitively overlay a series of aerial photographs and historic maps on the site using ArcGIS Pro, revealing the changes in landscape and infrastructure over the last 150 years. Our work here in Beechville has hardly scratched the surface thus far, and this work will be ongoing. Nonetheless, our team identified and recorded a large portion of this 19th century settlement using aerial LiDAR and handheld GPS. And once our data is consolidated, we hope to share our findings with the community in an effort to preserve these features for future generations.
We with SMU Archaeology would also like to extend our sincerest thank you to the community members who took the time to share their stories and join us along for this research. Thank you.
All of these projects really, they have a couple of different types of meaning. They have, you might call it a scientific meaning, where as researchers, we want to try our methods and learn about the site and its story. But the other dimension is actually, I think, much more important, and I'd be surprised if the students disagreed with this. I think we can all sense it. When we do work that connects with people and real people's real stories, we're creating a new level. We're at a different level of meaning, and it goes well beyond just the scientific. It's a very human engagement, and it's, I think, what anthropology should be about.